Good morning, guys. So I'm gonna keep the blind down because that sun is so awesome. Anyway, so good morning, Dawna Avery with Visual Testaments, and I wanted to share with you guys the subtleties of God and hearing God's voice, staying on that subject for a second. And I know that a lot of you guys think that you don't hear from God, but actually I'm here to tell you you do, and it's how you recognize that he speaks to you. I've heard things like people say a cardinal, they say a butterfly, they say they hear him audibly, they say they hear him through people, their kids, their spouse, and some have visions and dreams and a multitude of those things mixed up. So I just want to share with you that we were watching some videos on near-death experiences, which, you know, go to Joni Table Talk, and she's got some amazing ones I highly recommend. Daystar has awesome people sharing their testimony on near-death experiences. But I wanted to say that as we were talking about it, one of the things that we were recognizing that really stood out to me, especially because I am a seer and I know that the Lord shows me things in the spirit realm through sight and through spiritual sight, but I wanted to really be able to recognize to you guys that a lot of times you're hearing him, but you don't realize it because maybe that spouse that you're living with is telling you something, and you're so used to them. So it's like death by familiarity, right? Because you're so used to them, you're so used to living with someone who, you gotta admit, pegs it 90% of the time. And so a lot of times we can take that for granted, or you've got a parent that does the same thing, or you've got a child that does the same thing. And I've even heard people, like for me when I was little, I could tell you it was through animals, because I lived out in the middle of nowhere. We still actually live there, but at the time there was no one out there. And so I really saw God move in ways that were through a butterfly, a bumblebee, birds, dogs, and so cows. I could keep going. And some people will question it, and some people, it doesn't matter. What you know to be true, and you know it was the Lord, you'll know. It's like undeniable for you. Well, I think it's quite frustrating when people don't realize the subtleties of God, and it's so important to take you want to hear more from God? Let me just preface this question. Let me ask you, comment below. Do you want to hear more from the Lord? Do you wish you could hear more? Here's how. You ready? Get your notepad. Write this down. Honor every small subtlety of God. Honor every small way that he speaks to you. Every little way that the Lord speaks to you, treat it like the most sacred word that it is. It's sacred. It's holy. It's holy word. So treat it like the most holy word that it is. You know, when the priests went to the into the ark, the covenant, they didn't treat it as it was unholy, but somehow, because he lives within us now, when he speaks to us, we don't really take it to heart. Some people do, but a lot of times I remember Pastor Jensen Franklin did a message called The Ministry of the Moth, and it so stuck with me because I totally get that. You know, we don't take the subtleties of God, that moth that just comes and flutters, and he's drawn to you, and he gives you a word. We don't take it as holy as it should be and hold it as sacred as it should be, even if it's just one word, even if it's just one breadcrumb, and we go, this is not just a breadcrumb, this is holy ground, this is sacred word, and we just step all over it. And so I'm just encouraging you, if you want to hear from God, you take it and you make it sacred. Every breadcrumb that you get, treat it as sacred as it is. And then you'll get more and treat those sacred. And it builds upon And every bit of honor and thankfulness and grateful heart that you show him will show him that you are ready to receive more and more ways, in louder ways, in the audible. And so I just encourage you with that. Go out and have a great day and totally respect and honor those subtleties of God.